Live. There we go. So here we go. Number 1, 13. So I want to graph f of x and g of x. Okay, so f of x and y are the same thing. So it's really like y equals. Now that's like a invisible 1x minus 4. So to help me graph it, I'm going to put the 1 there. And to help me graph it more, I'm going to put a 1 over 1 because I always need a fraction for slope. I always need a fraction for slope because slope is rise over run. So I put in the invisible numbers, 1 over 1. So I'm going to start with actually graphing an xy axis. Start that first. I'm going to go ahead and put down my xy axis. And I'll put one answer in, I'll put black as the original, and I'll do my translation in red. Okay, so let's start off. This first one, start at -4 for the y-intercept. So I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, and put a dot. Am I going too fast? Okay. And then from my y-intercept, I'll apply my slope. My slope's up 1 over 1. Up 1 over 1, so I'm going to go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. Just going to graph in the line. Pretty easy. We did this last week, and there it is. Okay. So now, to graph g of x, and we call it g of x because g of x is going to be a different graph. So it has a different name. We're going to take f of x, and because it's on the inside, we are going to move it horizontally the opposite. Remember? Opposite. So we're going to move it back or to the left 4. It's the opposite, which won't make a lot of sense to you yet, but when I get you finally into geometry, I'm really going to go through why this is true, and it's going to make sense to you when we get to geometry. Right now, we're just going to trust me, okay? So I'm going to move this whole thing back 4 to the left. So I'm going to take every point back 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll take every point back 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And here's my new line g of x, which is equal to really a 1 over 1x plus 0. And I can get that just because I know it starts at 0 and goes up 1 over 1. Thumbs up? Awesome. Okay. Let's look at number 14. Okay, I'll put 14 here. Everybody have 13 before I fold the paper? Everybody good on 13?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to fold the paper so I can use my other part of my graph. Okay. So to do number 14, I'm going to graph f of x, or y equals like a 1 over 1x plus 3. So I'll put down my x and my y-axis. Okay, you guys with me? There you go. X and y-axis. And I'm going to put the original graph in black, and I'll put my translation in red. So I'm going to go ahead and start at 3. 1, 2, 3, always on the y-axis. It's the y-intercept. And then I'm going to apply my slope, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. So I'm going to go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, and I get my graph of x plus 3. It's this line right here, starting at 3 and then up 1 over 1. Now, I'm going to change this graph, and what I'm going to do is make it twice as wide. So this is a horizontal translation. So what we're going to learn eventually is anything on the inside of parentheses is a horizontal. Anything on the inside is a horizontal translation, okay? The 2 is on the inside of parentheses, so it's going to be a horizontal translation. We're going to make it twice as wide. All right, so every point is just going to be, instead of going up 1 over 1, I'm going to go up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, because it's going to make it twice as wide. And do the same thing here. Instead of down 1, back 1, I'll go down 1, back 2, and the graph becomes twice as wide. So I made it twice as wide by making the points go out twice as far. So the graph of this one, if I want the equation, which I can get pretty easily, it's going to be an up 1 over 2x plus 3. That's the equation of my new graph. And I call it g of x because it's a different line, so it has another name. So f of x is a g of x. How am I doing?
Good.
I'm doing okay as a teacher?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys are doing a great job too.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, let me know when I can fold this over.
Hold it.
Okay, everybody good? Let's fold this over. Let's look at 15. All right. To do 15, first of all, in black, I'll graph the 1/2 x plus 4. So I'm going to get my x and y axis out. Okay, and I'm going to start at positive 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the y-axis. And then my slope is up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. So I get this line right here. Okay. Yeah, and then I want to do a translation. So this negative on the outside is like making y negative. So if y becomes negative, this is a reflection over the x-axis. So I'm going to take my entire line, I'm going to flip it over the x-axis. Well, this is my x-axis. So these points flip all the way down here. This point at 4 flips down to negative 4. This point at 3 flips down to negative 3. This point at 2 comes down to negative 2. This point at 1 comes down to negative 1. So I'm just going to take and flip or reflect all of my points over the x-axis. So at 4, I go to negative 4. I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I go to negative 5. I'm at 3, and I go to negative 3. I'm at 2, and I go to negative 2. I'm at 1, I go to negative 1. So every single point I just reflected over the x-axis.
What they cross out with negative 4?
They'll cross it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Which kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Because if I start at 4 and I'm going down 1 over 2, down over 2, it's going to take that many to get to the x-axis, right? Okay. Now the equation of this, if I look at it, g of x, looks like I'm going down 1 over 2, or 1/2 x minus 4. There's the equation of my new line. Starts at negative 4, has a slope of down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2. That's why it's a negative 1/2 x, okay? Thumbs up? Am I doing okay? All right, 16, just about done. So on 16, I'm going to go ahead and graph my regular f of x. I'll squeeze 16 in right here. So 16, I'm going to put my x-y axis on. Okay, x-y axis. I'm going to take my original, I'll put my original in black, and I'm going to start at negative 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to apply my slope of up 2 over 3, up 2 over 3, up 2 over 3. So I'm going to go up 2 over 3, up 2 over 3, up 2 over 3. So here's my original line. 2, 3, okay. And I'm going to do a translation. Because the negative is with the x, I'm going to turn this one along over a reflection over the y-axis. Okay? So all of these points that are over here for the x values are going to fold over here on the other side. So for instance, this point here at positive 3 for the x goes over here as a negative 3 on the x. So this point went here. This point at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the x goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, negative. This point's at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's going to go back, flip it over, reflect over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And my g of x is here. The equation of g of x is going to be down 2 over 3x minus 6. Okay, and then the front of the homework is for you